Hello everyone, thanks for joining and welcome to the Microsoft Expert Community Sessions. Our goal here is to bring the best Microsoft experts to help educate you get the most out of Microsoft technologies. In each session, we try to focus on topics from administration, governance, Power Platform, Copilot, and plenty of other Microsoft goodness. We publish these frequently, so please make sure to sign up for our newsletters and follow us on social for the latest. These videos can also be found in the live resource sections of ticket.ai. So my name is Paul Sutton and I'm part of the Ticket team. For those who don't know, Ticket is a leading Microsoft-aligned IT service management platform built for the Microsoft Cloud. Today, we are very lucky to have two special guests joining Amanda Sterner and Karoliina Kettukari, who will be discussing experiences of AI in the modern workplace. So this is more of a practical section of Copilot of how to use in your day-to-day. So without further ado, I believe you're going to kick it off, Amanda.
Yes, exciting. So yeah, hello everybody. So fun that you have joined our session, Experiences of AI in the Modern Workplace. We're going to introduce ourselves very soon, but first, Karoliina, let's have a look at our lovely agenda for today. So
Nice.
what are we going to talk about?
So welcome everyone to our session about Copilot and AI. We will first share some statistics, cool graphs with you. Then we go to real life examples, demos, and lessons learned about how you can use Copilot in your workplace right now. And in the end, we will share some concrete tips and tricks for Copilot adoption at your organization.
Lovely. Everything you need to get psyched about this. So first of all, who are us? Karoliina, can't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Karoliina Kettukari. I have a difficult name, I know. I come from Finland, and I'm a Microsoft MVP, and I work as a Microsoft consultant and the head of modern work at a Finnish company called Medlake.
And my name is Amanda Sterner, and I'm working as a technical architect at a company called Advania within modern work. I'm also a Microsoft MVP, and I'm from Sweden. So that was short about us, and you can find our socials here. I think both of us enjoy posting about modern work and how it can help you. But let's get into the fun. So, what is this? What is this? Fireworks.
Well,
That's
what a
very
nice
fancy.
animation.
2 years ago, the autumn of 2022, something interesting happened. ChatGPT came. And it isn't like AI is new. AI, it's been along for a very long time. You've probably seen the different information about the first time AI like was better in chess, etc., etc., etc. But generative AI, the act of putting in some input in creating new content, that was made available for the broad masses, the people, you and me, by ChatGPT in September, sometime during the fall of 2022. So that was very exciting. So why am I showing you this slide? Well, I don't think it's maybe not super relevant how quick it came, but just showing you that all of a sudden, all of us, we had created a poem or a song or a speech, all by just adding some fun input and by magic. And now I will share a few different reasons why we find it so interesting with generative AI before we get into Microsoft's version of it, Copilot. First reason, blue screen. No, it's not a blue screen, but it is data. We create enormous amounts of data every day. We in files, in text, in meetings, etc., etc. And we have so much data that we need help harvesting it. This is a poll that I really enjoy looking at because I think it describes it pretty clearly how important it is to get some help with all that data. So here in 2020, it was said that we had 47 zettabytes of information in the world. And if you're just like me and thinking, how much is a zettabyte? Because for me, that is a like a pretty huge random number that I don't use that often. And I read somewhere that 1 zettabyte is, you can think about it as all of the sand grains in like in the beaches of all the world. That is 1 zettabyte. So if we're looking here, yeah, that's a lot. So if we're looking here in 2035, the estimate in this specific one from Statista is that we have over 2,000 zettabytes of information. So we have a lot of information, and we need to help harvesting all of that information, because it is impossible for us to, I don't know, find, create, see what's been done before, and that is where generative AI come in. Another thing that is very lovely that I want Copilot Barbie here to represent is that with generative AI, we don't ever have to stare at the blank like slate. We can just add an idea and content will be created. I'm not sure if you're like me, but very often I'm going to do a presentation for a customer or a colleague or a friend like Karoliina, and I just stare and I think and I think and I think, and sometimes I can stare for hours. Now I know I want to do a presentation about this. I get something from generative AI. It's ugly sometimes, often, but I have a start, and the end result is so much better. Another reason that generative AI is so amazing and can help us do so many things is that it can be fun. It can unleash creativity. This is like 6 different pictures, or pictures, not pictures, but of me and Karoliina in different styles. So I'm using Microsoft Designer. I have an idea. Okay, I want this to be cute, cute small people, or I want this to be Art Deco girls. Generative AI makes it possible for me and all of you to do things that we didn't have the skill set before to do it. We can just create, and I think that makes it so much fun. So these were just a few different reasons for why generative AI is so interesting. That, well, having help to harvest all of that data in the world, having help to create something. We don't have to create from scratch anymore, having fun and being creative. And that's not just for Copilot, that is for generative AI in general. But now we're going to try to deep dive into Copilot, because that is what we're actually talking about here. So this meme, I don't know, I use TikTok a lot, and I think it's very fun with these like classical art memes. And this is getting old now, so I need to create a new one. But Copilot, damn, I can be so fast at everything just to have that little friendly Copilot on my shoulder. But now let's dive into a few different numbers about why this is fun. Karoliina, what do you say?
Excellent. Thanks, Amanda, for the great memes and pictures. I really love the different versions of us, because it's such a simple example of how some small changes with words can give you a totally different picture. And you don't even have to draw anything by yourself.
Exactly. And just the fun thing there is that now you didn't see that on that picture, but wording makes such a big difference, because I asked for Amanda and Karoliina on a big stage, and what we ended up with was being very big on the stage. So it's yeah, it's very fun and easy to explore different things.
Yeah, that is true. And you will see example of those into demos soon as well. Amanda showed you a staggering graph about how the data in the world has already exploded and will explode even more in the future. But this also affects our work life, and we can see the effects every day in the workplace. I really love this data from Microsoft Work Trend Index, where they have done lots of different research studies about the change, how the work life has changed since the pandemic times. For example, we have 250% more meetings than 4 years ago, like 3 times more meetings than 4 years ago. We use several different applications in our workdays, and most of us, it's sad, but it's true. Most of us feel that we don't have enough time or energy to do our jobs because of the meetings we have, because of the different documents, messages we have in all the different applications. But is there any solution for this?
Maybe it is. Let's have a look. Wow.
Copilot can help. And of course, it's not a technology that will help you if you just like put a license on. It will require adoption, planning, piloting. It will require a lot of experimenting with the prompting. The art of prompting with Copilot and with generative AI is very, very important. But we have organizations that have been using Copilot at work for some time now already. And almost everyone said that they are more productive with Copilot. They are quicker, faster in tasks, and not only being more productive, more effective, but they also felt that the quality of their work has improved. And this is important, for example, if you are not very good with grammar, for example, or if you can't draw like myself, I can draw anything. Or if you just need some help with putting your thoughts into written text, that is where Copilot will come very, very handy.
Okay, so we have the introduction here. Now, of course, you want to see how Copilot actually works. And so we are going to show you 4 different examples from our day-to-day life that we find interesting and relevant to both of us. And something that is, I want to say this before we get into the demos, but something that you will notice is that all of us have different needs, they have different problems, we have different things we want to solve during our day. And there are a lot of things you can do with Copilot, both different co-pilots in the whole Microsoft ecosystem and also Copilot in Microsoft 365. And you have to find your aha moment. You have to like look inside you and see how this can help you, because there are no right or wrongs. There are so many different ways Copilot can help us. But okay, let's have a look now. Not enough with that like fire speech.
I think these 4 examples are maybe the most used within our customers at the moment. So the most common use cases at the moment.
Yeah, and the first example that I'm going to talk about regarding meetings, that was when I used Copilot in meetings. I felt, wow, this is truly a cool thing that will change our life. So, okay, meetings. We have a lot of meetings, as Karoliina said. And like she also said, 64 of us feel we don't have the time or the energy to do our jobs. Do you think those two go hand in hand? A lot of meetings, no time to do things? I think they're pretty connected. So meetings take up a lot of time. That, of course, there are good meetings, but there are also meetings that could have been a chat. But enough about that. Copilot can fix a broken meeting culture. We have meetings all the time. But there are a lot of things that we can have help with to have meetings that are a little bit better and, well, easier for people that you don't have to attend every meeting. So I'm going to show you now a video here of how you can use Copilots in meetings in Teams. And there's different stages. You can use it during the meeting, after the meeting. Of course, you can use it before with drafting content, but I'm going to show you here afterwards. So there is a recap file tab in meetings, and there you find lots of nice things. So first of all, you will be able to see speakers. So who said what and when. We will have auto-generated topics and chapters if you talked enough. And this makes it just super easy to know that what we talked about during the meeting and what happened. And then we have the lovely part here, AI notes. And AI notes will give you just based on the transcript of the meeting, what did actually happen? What was the different task? Since I'm controlling the PowerPoint, I'm going to pause here so I can finish talking. Karoliina, you won't have that luxury. So this is something that you will go in afterwards. You will see the notes. You will see who had follow-up tasks, different topics, all by magic. And the nice thing about this is that these parts that I'm showing you here in the video, that is also included in Teams Premium. So if you're using Teams Premium today for, well, its lovely security features, this is something that you have today. But the difference with Copilot, that's not a part of Teams Premium, is that you can actually interact with the content. So now I'm going to play again. And the things here that I'm showing with opening Copilot, this is something that you can also do during the meeting. So let's play again. So opening Copilot, and basically I can ask Copilot about any kind of topic from that meeting. So what I love here is that we get a lot of inspiration. Sometimes you know that you want something, but you can't put it in words. And the lovely thing is that you can just ask for more prompts and there will be lots of inspiration. But maybe you were late for a meeting. You're coming into a meeting, Copilot is on, and you're saying, hey, what did I miss? Instead of like raising your hand saying, hey, everybody, I was late. Can you help me? So, and like in this example here, I'm asking for a list of action items. So I didn't remember what I was supposed to do here for this session. And I'm getting it. And also I can say, maybe you can give me a couple of follow-up questions. So then Copilot know what we talked about, what kind of tasks did I get, what did I do? And upon that, it will build upon and give me things to follow up with. So the really nice thing about this is that one, I don't need to have a person that's taking note during the meeting. I mean, besides taking notes being boring, it also takes up time. And now all of us can be fully focused during the meeting. And two, I don't have to remember things. I can just ask what we talked about. What did we say about Project X? What did we do about this? So Copilot meetings, it's lovely. I love it. Karoliina, do you use this a lot?
Yeah, and the nice thing is that this also works in different languages. So if you have a meeting in Swedish or in Finnish, it totally works. It gets the summaries as well as in English. So I think Copilot in meeting is one of the most used features in Copilot at the moment, and it works maybe like it works one of the best ways.
Works, period. Yeah, it's really good. And now you mentioned language, and that is for us as a Swede and a Finn, that's always a struggle with these features. But the language, it works really good here. And but you know the language, it will be even better soon. So let's dive into the next example, Karoliina.
Yeah. So we already talked about how you can get started with Copilot. So you don't have to have the blank page syndrome anymore. You can just ask content from Copilot. And maybe many of you have already used similar features in ChatGPT or Copilot in Bing in browser. But here I will show you an example of how to create content with Word and how to turn the Word document into a PowerPoint. So let's jump into the demo. So here you have the Word document, and I have a prompt asking to create an internet post about adopting Copilot. I could add a reference document, for example, some other Word document, but in here I just simply ask, create a blog post about Copilot adoption. So it will be interesting to see what it generates, because I didn't actually give any previous information to Copilot at this point. But well, the title is right. we are adopting Copilot in Contoso, our made-up company. We are excited to announce we are starting our trip. And what I really love about this example is that it suggests that we will have a webinar about our Copilot adoption on tomorrow, actually, at 10 a.m. It will create a short FAQ, so questions, answers, what is Copilot, how does it work, how do I use Copilot at my work, and it actually references the webinar once again in the FAQ section. So here you can see, once again, check out our Copilot website, attend the webinar, and here you are. So what an excellent start for a blog post or news post about Copilot. Now I will jump into PowerPoint, and we have our company template in here. I will open the Copilot panel and ask Copilot to create a presentation from the Copilot adoption Word document I just made. I can ask it to make it, for example, 5 slides long, but at the moment, it sometimes works. Usually it doesn't, because it doesn't understand numbers that well for some reason. So now it analyzes the Word document. You can see it sees that the document has a title, introduction, FAQ, conclusion part, and it will generate slides based on those sections. The nice thing is that every time when you give the same prompt about the same Word document, you get a different presentation. Here you can see it's pretty nice. Slide number 3, for some reason, it's a wrong color, but it's okay. You have quite many FAQs. How do I use Copilot? Where can I learn more? And a nice conclusion side. And then you can use Copilot to add something extra. For example, add a thank you slide, add speaker notes, remove some slides from the presentation, or, for example, add a slide about the webinar we promised. And as you can see, it's not ready. The material is not ready for you to put in your internet maybe, but it's nice for you to get started with. So it's the first draft, it's the first version, and you are always responsible for the end product. You are responsible for reading to the document, seeing if the pictures are okay, if the information is okay. But as you saw, it's like a couple of minutes, and you have a Word document about Copilot adoption and a PowerPoint presentation based on the Word document.
Yeah, and I think that's the lovely part, that we can't forget that we have to put our human touch on it, but it's just so quick. And can you imagine how long it would have taken to create these things? If we would have done it by hand, I would have stared for at least 3 hours, and then I would create it. And and now it's just a blink, and there it is, and we have a perfect start for making it even better. It's fantastic.
I like that. The perfect start for making it even better.
That's me, the optimist. Okay, should we jump into our third
Yes.
example here, which is keeping it in the loop? Okay, Microsoft Loop. You know, Karoliina, that's my new favorite product in the Microsoft 365 suite. I love it. I think it's so fun. And for those of you who haven't used it, it's like OneNote, but it's a bit more modern, fun. It's super synced if you want to collaborate. So it works instantly. There's no lagging, and just a perfect and crucial part of being able to create, innovate, and be productive together. So, of course, we have Copilot in Loop as well, and that's what I wanted to show you here. So, like I said, it's a fairly new product, which means it's sometimes different, but it's in a fun way. So something that we haven't mentioned in two earlier demos is that when you're talking to Copilot, it's you are talking to Copilot and nobody else can see what you're talking about. They can't see the prompts. You don't have to be ashamed to be in a meeting and ask something like, "What did they say about Project X? I didn't listen there for a second." So that's very important to know about Copilot. But when it comes to Copilot in Loop, that's not the case because Loop is created for co-creating, and of course, there we can co-create on our prompts. So super quickly about Loop. Loop consists of, we could call it 3 different levels. We have workspaces that gathers all the information. In there we have pages, and in the pages we have components. You've probably seen the components in a Teams chat, or you can add them to Outlook or Word. But now I'm going to show you how we can do fun things with Copilot page. So let's play the demo. So here we are. We have a blank loop, and I'm going to show you when Loop is creating a new, it's drafting a new page. So for this example, I want to plan a conference. So I'm asking for example on a budget for a conference. And I'm not adding any other references like Karoliina did. And it's just, I'm asking for something, and Copilot, it will search and it will give us fun things. So let's see what kind of beautiful things it will pull together here about our. Okay, so here we have what do we need the budget for when it comes to conference. This isn't quite easy to read, right? So we're going to see if we can change it into a table. As you can see, I'm building upon the prompts. So it's a prompt and we're building on that prompt. Okay, a lovely table. Let's also add an estimate for how much it will cost. See what we're getting.
I don't know if creating a table has ever been more easy.
Exactly, it's so easy, and soon it's gonna pop up here my estimate. Where does that estimate come from? I'm not sure, but it's an estimate. Yes, this is the great start. Yes, and okay, let's see. Okay, it's thinking here. It's very interesting, and just building upon the prompt to make it even better. Okay, so here we have it. It's sorted on the cost from low, and now we can see here I'm flipping between the different prompts, so I can see actually what I've been doing between the different prompts and how I evolved this page. And what I didn't show you here, because that's hard when I'm demoing with myself, is that if I were another user, I could go in, I could build upon that prompt the same way. I could go back and see the old pages. So it's a truly co-creative way of getting started with content. Another thing that Copilot can do in Loop is summarizing a page. So Copilot is very good at summarizing information. So keeping it in the loop, a fun place, a new place to be, to co-create, to be innovative, and just do fun things. I love it, and I love that I don't have to think. See, it's perfect. Now I'm just ready for my conference. I don't have to do like in a real, we're looking into information in the real world. I have this.
And the perfect thing with Copilot is that the same ideas work with different products. So even if you don't use Loop, you should, by the way, but if you don't use Loop, you can do the same kind of ideas in Word, for example, or use the Copilot in Bing to do same kind of ideating. So you can test same kind of prompts in different products in Office and see what the results are.
Yes, that is like a big key here, exploring and testing what works for you. So Karoliina, please introduce to us our last example here.
Yeah, so Amanda mentioned summarizing, and summarizing is one of my favorite features in Outlook as well. As a modern work expert, I work in Teams. My messages, my documents, everything is in Teams. But so many organizations are dependent still on emails in Outlook, of course. And for example, if you are on a holiday for a week, when you come back to work, you may have 100 new email messages waiting for you, and you don't have time to go through every one of those. So what you can do with Copilot is ask to summarize your email messages, draft responses to your email messages, and even change the tone of your email messages. So let's take a look at the demo in here. We are experimenting Copilot adoption in our company, and I have this very, very long email chain discussion with myself at this point. And I asked Copilot to summarize the email chain. So now I can see from all of these different emails that I have a meeting coming up. Our Teams is very enthusiastic about the Copilot adoption, and now I want to reply for the last meeting. So I can ask Copilot to draft and reply based on the emails I have in my email chain. And for example, now I can choose from the ready-made prompts, or of course, I can also write my own prompt. So here you can see, I'm eager for our meeting on Tuesday. See you then. And then I can change the response. I can make it longer. I can make it shorter. Somehow make it a poem is one of the most fun ways to demo. So we want to make everything a poem, or make everything in the Scottish accent or pirate accent. It's fun. And then I could send the email. But of course, if I actually would click the send button in here, Copilot is smart. It will give me a pop-up saying that AI-generated content may not be correct. Are you sure you want to send this email? And it does that because I didn't change anything in the email. And I think that is super, super smart move from Copilot. Because once again, you never should just generate content with AI and then publish it away. You always have to read through your content and make sure that all the details are correct. Is the meeting in Tuesday? Yeah, it is. Am I eager to collaborate? Hopefully I am. So just make sure all the dates, numbers, things like that are correct before you actually send the email. You are always responsible for your own content, even though Copilot helps you to get there. Have you, Amanda, used this feature?
Just like you, Karoliina, I am a Vivid Teams user, and I very rarely send email threads that are so long that I can't scroll down 2 emails. But I really love this feature because I know a lot of people have long email threads. And I mean, honestly, when I emailed a lot, how often did I read through everything that we've written before? Never. I just read 1 or 2 and was hoping for the best. So I think this is a really nice feature, and I haven't seen the thing that you talked about, saying, "Are you sure about pressing play?" And I love that. That's really nice because I think it's so important to be aware that yes, Copilot can fix a lot of things for you. Does that mean that you shouldn't give it your human eyes? No, definitely not. It's very important that you give it your human eyes everywhere. So I have to send more emails. I'm gonna send you a bunch of emails when we hang up here. I'm gonna get ready.
Yeah, and hopefully soon we maybe have the same features in Teams messages as well. So you can draft Teams messages as well in the same way you can draft emails in here.
Yeah, and these 4 different demos, that was just 4 different use cases that we find interesting and our customers find interesting. But there are so many things you can do, and it's just time for you to go explore, because generative AI, it will help us a lot, and it will be fun and thrilling. So let's talk a little bit about how you can continue this journey, or things that you need to do.
Yeah.
By starting with this, the adoption roadmap.
So if you now are super excited and ready to take off with Copilot, here is a very good phasing and a suggestion about Copilot adoption roadmap. So first of all, you need to be prepared. You can buy licenses for everyone and just like go use this, but it won't give you the return of investment. You have to prepare, review your data accesses, data privacy, all that maybe boring but super important background stuff about governance, about security, about compliance. And then you really have to create some kind of council, steering group, a group of people with enough decision-making power that can actually help you to adopt not only Copilot, but AI in general in your organization.
Don't forget the AI Council, because we don't want people to go crazy with AI and sending weird things to customers and not producing things without their human touch. So I really like that AI Council, and it's not just for Copilot, for everything. So we're ready, our data's ready, we have our AI Council, and then it's time to onboard and engage. And without people, well, it won't be any good co-piloting. And people need to understand what they can do. They need to be excited about it. And different things that you can do is to create a co-pilot user community where people can share tips and help each other and create some buzz. We also need to identify champions and early adopters, because we need people to cherishing and like yaying this trip, because it is different. This is a completely new way of working, and from so far the experience I have from my customers and myself, it is hard. It's not just something that we turn on and it works. We have to add a lot of effort, which also brings us to number 7 here, that we have to make sure that people know that training is a part of this. And it's not just doing a course one time and then you're done. This is a training that you're going to be active in for a long time, because this is a skill that needs training, and you need to give your employees the time to actually develop this new skill. So, okay, what happens then when we're ready with those parts, Karoliina?
So then we got into the ongoing phase, which is delivering impact. And as Amanda said, you need to meet with your AI council all the time, like in regular intervals, not only when you're piloting Copilot, but every time, every year, every month for the future. Most of the organizations will need to we want to find some kind of return of investment for the licenses, for the time and resources we use for training, coaching, champions. And one nice tip is to use the Copilot dashboard, which is ready-made by Microsoft and usable in the admin center. Super nice data, hard data numbers about how your organization actually uses Copilot. And one step I really love is to celebrate in successes. So take those success stories, share the best prompts you have, share the best use cases with your users. For example, have some inspirational sessions with HR people or legal people or some role in factories, and see how they use Copilot at work and like embrace the successes. That's how teams usually grow.
Yeah, that makes me happy about celebrating the successes. And I think that's also super important, because at least I know that I get inspired when I see what my colleagues do. If they do well and they share examples, I want to try that as well. So that's a very good way of getting people on board. And okay, the last step, extend and optimize. We're starting using Copilot for Microsoft 365. Then it's time to start exploring all the exciting things you can do to extend it. there are different ways to tailor Copilot for our needs. We can build our own solutions. We can build things with Copilot Studio. I mean, something that I really enjoy about Microsoft Teams and that they recently started talking about is that it's simple by default, but it's powerful on demand. And Copilot, it can be so simple. It just works. You have to play with it, but you can make it truly powerful if you dive into the specific scenarios of your organization. And both in the case of building bots and adding specific co-pilots, but also something that I talked to a community friend the other week about power prompting, we named it, building really advanced prompts that it's not just can you help me with this meeting? It's a prompt that you sit, you think, you test it. Maybe it takes a half day to build a prompt. So there's different ways of really making sure Copilot can do what you need it to do. So
I like that idea of power prompting.
yeah, that's a new concept I'm exploring, and I really like it because I don't think everybody has to be a power prompter, but there will be people that are more advanced users and they want to do more advanced things, and then there's people that they enjoy summarizing a meeting, and that's enough, and that is fine. So yeah. Okay, we're getting into our last slide here, and that is about the Copilot Success Kit.
Yeah, so the roadmap you saw in the previous slide, it's also in the Success Kit, and there is so much ready-made resources from Microsoft. There is email templates if you use the emails. You have user enablement guides. You have technical readiness guides. You have creating an AI console guide, by the way, which is quite nice. So you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to come up with everything by yourselves. Just go to the Success Kit in your browser, and you will find lots of resources how to get started with your Copilot journey.
This is a perfect time to steal with pride. It's not even stealing, it's just using. And I hope all of you go in there and have a look because there's so much great content. But yeah, Karoliina, I think that was what we wanted to share with you today. So thank you very much for listening to us. I hope that you're excited to start using Copilot and thinking about how you can use it in your organization.
Cool. Thank you, everyone. I hope you are inspired. And thank you,
Yeah,
Paul.
no, wow, that was great. Excellent presentation. I really enjoyed all the content, so thank you for that. I do have a question. Did you use Copilot to build that presentation?
No,
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's bad. I mean, because we can also learn to use Copilot even more. I think that Copilot can do so much, and I just have to switch how I think in a lot of cases.
Well, I thought it was oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I used Copilot for creating demos. So I have the demo with like 10, 20 different email messages. So I actually asked Copilot to create email messages between a communications manager and an IT manager discussing about Copilot adoption at the company. So I got like 20 different email messages, and then I sent those to myself. So it helps me to create like a nice real content into demos.
Right. Yeah.
I like it.
No, it's great. And I really thought the slide that you had regarding just how much data is out there. I mean, it's truly remarkable, but a little bit scary, just that innovation. It's crazy just to see that. And that's definitely something I'm going to be using going forward, just to remind everyone, where we are with everything. So that's great. is there anything else that you want to add, or maybe for people that want to contact you, what's the best way if people want to connect with you guys?
You can find us from LinkedIn.
Yeah, that is the best way. And I think my number one tip going out from here: explore, try things. You can't break it. Ask a question. If you don't get an answer, ask something else. If you don't have Copilot for Microsoft 365, use Copilot in the browser, as Karoliina mentioned. So just start getting familiar with how to prompt and how to ask questions, because it is new. It is tricky, but it is fun.
Yeah, my favorite tip is also that even if you don't have Copilot in Teams and in Word, etc., you usually have Copilot in browser. So test that one, use those features in there, learn how to prompt with Copilot in browser. So then when you do get Copilot in M365, you are way ahead of starting to use all those features.
You are ready.
Awesome. Well, I need to start testing out myself. But this is great. No, I really appreciate both your time. So thank you. And I think this is super relevant. We all know that AI is a constant in everyone's vocabulary right now. And I've learned some things as well. So that's always great. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I think we can wrap this up. And thank you again. And we'll talk to you all soon.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.